Hello, my name is Suzanne Windous. I am a family nurse practitioner student at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. For Nursing 711, Informatics and Quality Improvement, I was tasked with completing a personal continuous quality improvement or CQI project. Continuous quality improvement is defined as a set of concepts, principles, and methods that are used to assure quality improvement. It's unique in that it focuses on team dynamics and evaluating systems rather than people to accomplish improvements. The purpose of this video presentation is to present the highlights and outcomes of my CQI plan and to offer a self-reflection of the process to include what I learned and perhaps what I would change about my plan. Before I could start my project, I needed to identify a problem. Physical fitness has always been very important to me, and I've always made time to exercise. But since starting grad school in September of 2019 and continuing to work full-time, I hadn't found the time to exercise on a regular basis. And I was becoming flabby, fatigued, and grouchy. I knew from literature and past experience that regular, moderate to vigorous physical activity not only improves physical fitness, but also reduces feelings of anxiety and depression. Once I had identified my problem of not getting enough regular exercise, I was ready to begin the steps of the CQI process. My goal was to engage in moderate to vigorous exercise for 45 minutes per day for at least 4 days a week. This goal was safe, timely, effective, efficient, equitable, and patient-centered, STEEP. When improving a process and redesigning a workflow, it's crucial to have a team that knows the process and is committed to making improvements. And this team must also include one specific member who takes responsibility for the success of the project. My team consisted of my husband, who definitely knows my daily processes, and he's always committed to my health and well-being, and myself. And I'm the one who had to take responsibility for the success or failure of my own personal project. Next, I used a process map to identify areas of my daily processes that needed improvement, and a fishbone diagram was used to evaluate the root cause or causes of my problem. As my process map shows, my ability to get in an exercise session depended on where I was working that day, how busy work was, and whether or not I had clinicals. By studying this workflow, I really felt like my best bet was to get up early in the morning and get my workouts done first thing. My fishbone diagram made me aware of what was preventing me from being able to work out consistently. The main issues that I identified were I was working too much, getting to bed too late, and my usual cardiac workouts on the treadmill or elliptical were just boring. This step in a CQI initiative answers the question, what are we trying to improve? To accurately answer this question, the goal should be SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-framed, which I thought mine was. The specific aim for my personal CQI project was to engage in exercise at a target heart rate of 85 to 145 beats per minute for 45 minutes a day, at least 4 days a week, to improve my physical and mental health. I measured the outcome of my goal by the data from my fitness tracker. For process measures, I kept track of bedtimes in order to have energy to get up and exercise in the mornings. And I also kept track of what days and what times of the day seemed most convenient for exercise. For balancing measures, I monitored fatigue and how well I was functioning academically and at work. After I started school, I began to recognize a downward progression of my physical health and mental stamina. My change idea was to make time for 45 minutes of exercise at least 4 days a week by getting to bed earlier, working less, and making workouts more entertaining. Then it was time to test the change with the PDSA model, Plan, do, study, act. During the planning phase, my husband agreed to support my earlier bedtimes by reminding me at 8 p.m. that it was time to get ready and stop doing whatever I was doing in order to get me to bed by 9 p.m. He also committed to helping me say no when I was called and asked to work extra shifts at the hospital. I took an inventory of easily accessible equipment and gyms that I could utilize to achieve my goal. My Fitbit would be used to collect data. I made a playlist of songs and shows to make workouts more entertaining. One last measure I took during my planning phase was to record the number of minutes of exercise at target heart rate each day and how many days I met my goal of 45 minutes that week. I did this for 1 week pre-intervention, so I had a baseline to compare future data to. And you'll see those results in a few minutes. The first week went really smooth, and I felt like I had a perfect plan. I hadn't encountered any roadblocks, and implementation had gone off without a hitch. So the plan stayed the same for the next cycle. The next week wasn't nearly as successful due to unforeseen STEMI calls interrupting my sleep schedule and a heavier load of homework. I only got in 1 workout at target time and heart rate that week. For both weeks, Monday and Friday were the days of the week that I was consistently able to work out. I originally thought I would always make time for workouts in the morning, and that's why my change idea included getting to bed earlier. But after this week, I realized I needed an alternative. So on the days my schedule was unexpectedly altered, I would have a plan that I could fall back on. My third PDSA cycle began on March 2nd with my revised plan to work out in the mornings as my schedule allowed, especially on Mondays and Fridays, as evidenced by data collected in the first 2 weeks, and to have a list of alternative options for exercise during the day if my morning workouts fell through. These options included a brisk walk at lunch, stair climbing during breaks at work, or working out in the physical therapy gym at the hospital at the end of my shift. There were 2 days during the cycle that I wasn't able to work out in the morning. I just didn't have time, but I did get in time doing those alternative exercises. I continued on with that plan through cycles 4, 5, and 6, which, as this graph and table show, worked great for me. After week 2, I was able to consistently meet and sometimes even exceed my goal. Not only does my data show successful results, but my weight is down, my physical and mental endurance has increased, and I have a lot more energy. Future improvements to my CQI project will include longer workout sessions, strength training, and I will include my husband in the program so he can enjoy the benefits of physical fitness along with me. Throughout this process, I learned that there's always room for improvement, and life is really basically a continuous PDSA cycle for those of us willing to try and improve. By having to do this project, I've actually learned the skills necessary to implement change for improvement in all aspects of my life, and I will use those skills to benefit myself, my family, and the patients I care for. Thanks for watching my movie.